Welcome to the Pain Free for Good podcast, where we rediscover our body's natural ability to heal. This space is for those who have experienced chronic pain, illness, disease, or emotional trauma, and are ready to reclaim the power within themselves. Here, we explore healing, awareness, and the quiet wisdom already living inside of all of us. I'm your host, Heather Peterson, and I'm so glad you're here. Welcome back to the Pain Free for Good podcast. We are so excited to have you back today. We have a very special guest today. My dear friend, Jamie Blomquist, has lovingly agreed to be here to share her story. It is such a fascinating story, how far she's come, how much she's endured. And I just felt very strongly that I wanted her message to be shared because I feel deeply that learning from other people, we learn to have compassion, we learn to love and to learn from each other. So without further ado, Jamie Blomquist, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Oh man, Jamie, we started working with each other in 2022. I pulled it up.
That's crazy.
Time has flown, right?
It has been. Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah. I had to pull it all back up too because I'm like, why did I go? What was going on? Can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah, it's amazing the things I forget about clients I've worked with over the years, and I've had to pull your file out and rehash because it's been a minute, and we've had a lot of chats since. And most importantly, we've grown this beautiful friendship between the two of us that I value in a very deep way. And I believe that God leads us to the people that we're meant to meet, and you are one of those people.
For sure.
So we're going to let Jamie tell her story today. She's going to go back. We're going to talk about the discovery meeting. And there was a lot going on with you in the first 20 years of your life. It was quite the whirlwind. So Jamie, take it away.
I'll try and keep it shorter. So when I was young, I was born into a family with obviously my birth parents. I had an older sister, younger sister. And my birth mother, she had a lot of trials in her own life, and that led her to really, really struggle. She ended up not being able to take care of us in and out of psych wards and just trying to deal with her stuff. She went through a lot, and her own traumas, and it all kind of boiled up when she had the three of us. And so in this process of her in and out of hospitals, we needed somewhere to be. And so we went and lived with who I now refer to as my family, my parents, and between them and then my grandparents on my birth dad's side. And we were back and forth with them. They were trying to help Leanne. They were trying to support us and take care of us. And that was 3 children. My mom, Kathy, who raised me, she already had 7 children. So when she took us in, there's 3 more of us. So a family of 10 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we always felt loved. We always had a place to be. But as I've worked with you and done different things and looking into it, the cranial, a lot of different experiences we've had, I think you realize like how much that actually affected you growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Because you look, we had a great life. This was the best alternative, like for us to come live here. This was the best thing for us. We had this family. We had, grew up the way that we did. And you think we had it great. And not really understanding that it left me with the kind of a hole of, well, where do I belong then?
Mm.
Because I don't really feel like I'm a part of this family, but I also don't feel like I'm a part of this family. We miss things on both sides. We just the yo-yo back and forth and just never feeling secure in that and never feeling that I belong. And that's something I've struggled with the rest of my life. And not really understanding why, I guess, but able to like work with Heather and work back. It's been like, it's stems back to here.
Mhm.
So we grew up in that situation, and it was good. I mean, we had a good life. We were well taken care of, well loved. Grew up, fast forward, I ended up pregnant as a teen mom. I had my little girl. She was born 4 or 5 months before I graduated high school. So here I am at 18 years old, married with a baby. We had another child shortly after that. And so lately I've learned a lot of things about that period of my life. Anyway, so we were young, we had a couple kids, and my husband at the time had come home. He had been out of town. He went to do some schooling, a test, and he got home and I picked him up from the airport. My littlest child had just turned 1 the day before. So here we are at the airport, excited to pick him up and welcome him home. And he was gone for the week. We missed him. He missed the birthday party. And on the way home, he informed me that he basically had been living a whole different life.
Wow.
He had been drinking when I thought he was off to school and work. He was not. And he was hiding all that from me. But obviously, the big blow was he let me know that he did not love me and he loved somebody else. And all of this, just was dropped on my lap. And I'm driving, and my girls are in the back. I'm crying, they're crying, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, we're happy, we're good, we made it, because it was like, we can do this. And um, then I was at a point of, I don't know what I'm doing, and what do you mean? And so he ended up choosing to leave and walk away and wanted to get divorced, and that took almost a year. Um, anyway, I was able to meet somebody. My husband now and I got married a year and a half after all of that had happened, and I wish I would have found you before. I went into that marriage kind of a wreck. Um, Here I was as a child, not knowing where I belong, never feeling like I had my place. And then I found myself alone as a single mom. And then I am in this marriage, and after dealing with my ex-husband and everything going on with that, it was hard. I had um fears constantly that he was gonna leave me as well. Unless I was perfect. Unless my girls were perfect, because
Mm.
now he's a dad to 2 little girls. I was a disaster. I remember my mom, sorry, checking on me, like, "Are you okay? Are you happy?" It's like, "I'm so happy. This is a great man. He's a father to my girls. He's giving them a good life. He was a provider. He was solid. He was steady. He was so good. But I was not." Um, and I was like, "What do you mean? I'm great. I'm happy." But she could see I wasn't being genuine to me. I wasn't being um kind of that happy carefree. That was who I was growing up, was a very happy, confident, bubbly, and I had lost a part of that, and I think it was just that effort and that goal to be perfect. He won't leave me if everything's exactly in order, and you cannot live like that.
Yeah.
Um, Things start falling apart when you try and live in a way
That's not authentically
that's
you.
not authentic. And never in my life had I dealt with any sort of anxiety, and all of a sudden I was having panic attacks, and I was waking up in the night and suffocating and having these attacks of and I'm like, what is going on?
Mm.
Like, this is insane. It's so easy. It is so easy to sit and look and say, oh, it's a new marriage, or we are just figuring things out, or we are um, trying to raise these kids and blend a family, and you're looking at all these different things like what it's just stress. It's
Yeah.
just this. And then realizing down the road, like it was a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Okay, so here I am married. I've got these kids. I've got a new husband. We're trying to navigate life, build our relationship. We both had our own traumas from previous marriages. And I'm not being true to myself. I'm not living authentic. I'm masking. I'm putting on a show. I'm, anything to be quote unquote perfect. And my mom had called me out on it, and I was like, what? I'm so happy. I'm in love. What are you talking about? But she could see I was like rigid, like a board, like everything was. Anyway, so we ended up, yeah, like things were good. We were doing our thing, living life. We had a child together, and you just keep plugging along. You just keep doing life and continue to work on our marriage and with our children and life. Like, what is it we want from this life? And Heather and I became friends before I ever came to see you. And I remember her talking about what you do and thinking that sounds really cool. I could get fixed. I could let go of all this and I would just be a whole new person. I could be me again.
And what was it do you feel like you were wanting to fix at that point?
So at that point, I think I was having all this back pain. I had the anxiety, a lot of like the brain fog, and just knowing I wasn't myself, knowing that something in me wasn't clicking, and just being frustrated with that, and thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna go. This will be great. And I've honestly never done therapy before of any kind. So when we start digging in, I think just the discovery alone, I was like, oh, because I think you start to get that awareness. You start to see, something's not right, or listening, and it's like, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. And we did the discovery, and I was like, oh, like I have a lot of things that have played into where I was at that point. And a lot of hard things I had to look at just with my own behaviors and my own actions, what I was doing, not even like what I'd been through.
Sure.
Or what, and just realizing like, okay, I need to make some changes. I need to own up to my crap, and I need to be honest with myself. And that was really hard. It was really hard.
And it was hard to hear because, you were a good friend to me, but like, I didn't know you like all the things. And to get to know someone so deeply, and it's the best part of my job, but it was like, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah. One thing we talked about was the fears that were holding me back. That session probably was my biggest, like, wow. How much of my life was being led by fear. And that was in all aspects of it. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm afraid my husband will leave me, or I'm afraid, this or that. It was fear in so many ways that was really took me back to this is a problem. This is not how I want to live. I do not want to live my life in fear and worries. And just living in a state of anxiety and just everything, parenting teenagers, and just how much that has taken a toll on my body and my health.
Oh, sure. Let's rewind again back to even childhood. What belief system do you think you uncovered, and what fear do you think you uncovered when you're looking at your life as a child?
So the belief was very much ingrained into me that I was this strong daughter. that is a joke, was a joke for my whole life with my siblings. Oh, you're the strong one. Oh, Jamie's the strong one. Go get her. And I know it was said, especially for my mother, like with so much love and so much, she admired my strength.
Mm-hmm.
She could see that in me, and it was a positive. But then it is, well, I have to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's your identity now.
Yeah. And there's no place for weakness. There's no place for struggling. Like, you just be strong and you just get through it and you just figure it out. And that is still a big part of myself.
Sure.
But also knowing there can be times of emotion, times of struggle, times of saying, I actually can't do this and I need help. That's always a struggle, always a struggle to say, I need help. I need somebody to run a kid. I mean, that's silly, but it's everything. I just I don't feel like I can ask for help. I think a big part too, my mom was raising 10 kids and she was very, very involved in the community, in church. She was just one of those people that took care of everybody. And she checked in on everybody, and all great things. But as a child, you realize, where am I in this? Where's mine? So when is it my turn?
Yeah.
Where's my place? When do, and just never feeling like you had the space to need somebody. And you think, oh, I'm just this independent, strong woman. And realizing it's because I don't believe I can rely on people. And I don't believe they have the space or the time for me. So that was a belief. The fears, I think just that of, as a kid, well, are we going to go live here? Or are we going to, never knowing where
your place is,
where my place was, and fear of not wanting to leave my family, not letting me to leave the Reese family. And if that was going to have to play in the part anywhere, that was home to us. And that's where we felt the safest and the most as a family. So that was definitely something we wanted to stay. We wanted to keep that.
So what does that look like for you as you're working with me, as you're uncovering these things? What are some of the things that you were working on? Like how were you applying this to these belief systems?
I think for me, it's comes actually kind of easy to look and see, okay, I have the awareness. This is where it came from. This is how I felt. This is how I might have been feeling. This is how I might have been dealing with it. And then I kind of just hit it head on. And when I work through things, I sit and I journal and I write everything out. I think every session we had, I'd go home and I'd just write and write and write and write. And different things that have come up since then, and just trying to work through and see that isn't who I am. It's part of my story. That's what we learn and we grow, and everything we go through, I feel like, can just be an opportunity to help others.
Sure.
Everything we go through can give a little more compassion to a family that maybe doesn't have your picture perfect family. Like, kids who are struggling. I had my struggles, as a teenager and growing up. And the more life you live, I think you're able to look and see, okay, how can I help someone else then with that? And I think my biggest thing is I've always been very open. I've always been willing to talk about my life. I've always been willing to talk the ugly.
Yeah.
And I actually had an experience. So as a teen mom in our small town,
where everybody knows everything.
And here we are, this well-known family, and all of a sudden I'm the teen pregnancy, and I had to let a lot of people know, and it was changing my life, obviously, but also others. I sat and talked with my coaches, like, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play those sports my senior year. Missing out on that part of my childhood. And at that point in my life, I felt like I was like shaken to the core. Like, who am I? An athlete? That's gone. Who am I? Like all these things, I felt like I'd built up who I was, had kind of been stripped away. And now I'm trying to put my life back together. And got married and everything. And it wasn't until I was married to my current husband, I got asked to come speak at a church event to young women and teenage girls. And it was the very first time I had opened up. From the minute I got pregnant and had my kid, like if anyone ever asked, like, oh, well, when did you graduate? Like just those easy questions.
Time together.
And I'm like, I don't want them to know.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything was a secret. I didn't want people to know. I left things vague. It was so embarrassing for me. It was one of those just like, I don't want to be known as that, so I'm just going to hide it. And I did that for years and years and years. And so here I am at this event, and I felt really strongly that that message needed to be shared.
Wow. So what were you originally asked to speak upon? They
just asked me, I don't even remember. I feel like it was just like, will you be willing to talk? And I was just like, sure. Like, I don't even remember what the topic was or why they wanted me to or how my name had come up. And I just felt very strongly that I needed to talk about that. And it was so crazy to me because all of a sudden this thing that had kept me caged and locked down was now freeing. I felt uplifted. I felt free from that hold of a secret. It's like, oh, that's who I am. Not who I am, but that happened. That's part of my life. That's part of my story. That's how we got here, you know, and it just turned it into something positive. And I think from that point on, I'm like, how refreshing to not feel like everything has to be a secret. Everything has to, you know, like I can just be who I am. I can just be real. Yeah. And so I feel like that has turned me into just being so much more open. Yeah. And willing to share and willing to talk about things because I'm just like, not only does I feel like it could help, even if it's one person, and that was my goal at that. I said, if one person, the number of girls that came up to me was overwhelming. And the number of girls that said, I've struggled, I've this, I've that. And just to be able to be like, no, you're not alone. And look at me now. I have a great life, you know, and it just made it such a more positive part of my life. It's not anything to be embarrassed over or ashamed over. It's just part of it. It's just a step. And I have no regrets. I have nothing that I would go back and change because I have my daughter. You know, my life is mapped out and I wouldn't change that. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So moving forward, what parts of yourself had to grow up overnight that you were unaware of at the time? Everything. I went from having a mom to cook and clean and help and deal with stuff, and here I am now as I want to say a young kid. Yeah. And I'm making doctor's appointments and checkup appointments, and I'm cooking meals, and I'm taking care of a home, and I'm working, and I'm like everything kind of dropped off the radar, and I was now a grown up. I actually had to do a deep dive on this recently. Yes. We were talking about allergies. Yes. So when I grew up, no allergies my whole life. I had my second child, and that spring, so she was born the end of February. So March, April, I was having crazy sneezing, runny nose, itchy throat. And I literally had to ask, like, what is going on? Do you think I'm sick? And my family's like, that's allergies. I was like, well, I don't have allergies. And it's like, that's allergies. So here I am, all of a sudden, this crazy allergies for the first time in my whole life. And I'm like, that is weird. Why now? Must be because my pregnancy did something weird. Yeah, what are you, like 20 at this point, 21 or like so? 20. Yeah. So it's like, oh, maybe it just haven't, you know, my pregnancy, this, that, you know, I'm just like, that is so weird. So, I mean, she's 17 now. So for 17 years, I feel like a couple springs ago, we kind of got into it, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, I don't know if that fits. And like, yeah, but no, you know, the emotions behind allergies, and they weren't as bad because for years I was going and getting the Kenlog shop.
Mm-hmm.
I was like overdosing on allergy pills, on the sprays, on everything.
Oh, man.
They were terrible. And for whatever reason, this spring, I said, why am I having allergies? Like, I've done the questions, I've looked into it the last couple of years. Like, I feel like I've tried to see why I'm having these allergies. It's nothing environmentally. Like, we had moved. It was just like, there was just different things. And I'm like, no, this is not what it is. So I'd reached out to you saying, what are the emotions behind allergies? And so we started talking about that. And then I went into, have you talked about the Accept app on here?
I have not yet, but yeah, take it away.
We put it into the Accept app.
Which is so awesome.
Yes. You'll have to share that more because
I absolutely will.
Amazing. And I just started saying, why? Why after 17 years or however many years, like, why have I only had allergies this part of my life? And it took me down a rabbit hole. I sobbed and I sobbed and I sobbed and I sobbed. Because again, you think you're living your life, you're doing all these things, like you have a good life. We're grateful. And here I am at another point, like, why am I struggling with this? And when it's right in your face, it's really hard to ignore. And a big part of what the Accept app had talked about was, I'm afraid of new beginnings. And I'm afraid of new start and new things. So here's spring. Because I never had that chance to grow up. It was forced upon me. I was, young. I married a very young and immature person. And so he was kind of like another child. I had a little girl. I had a baby now. And I'm thinking, yeah, I didn't get that chance to grow up. I had watched my ex-husband go and do all these things. He still had all his friends. Mine were gone.
Yeah.
He still had all his hobbies. He still got to go do all his things. I was home. I was with my kids. And that's the only place I'd want to be. It literally, that to me is where I wanted to be. But also, I didn't have that other part. I didn't have all these other things. And I was just the grown-up.
Yeah.
In our marriage, in our home, I was the grown-up. And so walking through the Accept app and those emotions, and of course I'm journaling it all. I'm talking to you about it all. Like, listen to this.
Yeah.
And no allergies.
Yeah.
None.
Gone.
I don't even know if I sneezed after that.
That is fascinating. I mean, isn't it crazy?
Oh, it's so crazy.
Yeah. No allergies.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you won't have them moving forward because it's the grief. It's the grief that was trying to get out and you were trying to stuff it back in, Yeah. And the body keeps the score. The body is like, I will tell you when you're lying. But I had a very similar experience. When I married my current husband, as you know my story, I developed terrible, terrible chronic fatigue. And it would happen to me every January, February. And over a period of a year or so, I had thought I was pregnant. I thought maybe I had needed glasses. I went to an allergist who told me, oh, it's the bushes. It's the bushes growing down by the river by your house. And I thought, well, it's winter. I don't feel like there's any pollination coming out of these.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, it's the bushes down by the river. They're very, there a lot of allergens in those. And I was like, well, okay, I'll do the drops, And it took me however many years after that. I mean, that's 2009. I didn't even get into this till 2015, nor did I even know the emotion for chronic fatigue till probably 2016 or so. And I was like, holy shit. What comes up every single January, February? Baseball season. Baseball season. I am left alone with all of my children while my husband coaches our oldest son, and he is gone for months. And I would have chronic fatigue from that January, February when, spring training starts, clear until July when baseball ends. And I could not correlate the two. I just thought, my body's just falling apart. Well, I'm just really tired. Well, it's genetic because my mom had chronic fatigue. No, I am mourning the lack of a husband And I'm grieving that this responsibility that I suddenly have on my own day after day. My husband comes home from work and he's gone for the rest of the night. Come home from work, gone. Come home from work, gone. It's like the repetitiveness, the responsibility, the overwhelming responsibility that I was grieving at the time. And when I put two and two together, bam, chronic fatigue's out the window.
Mm.
And I can't tell you how many other things you and I have talked about that have been the same thing over and over.
Yeah. You just see those patterns and you just think, oh yeah, I think you just naturally want to assume like, oh yeah, it's whatever.
It's just the body falling apart.
Yeah, I'm getting older. Yeah.
Just my hormones.
And then you kind of face it head on and you deal with it and it's like, oh, that actually makes way more sense than what I've been telling myself or why I'm,
And the most fascinating part is that it immediately goes away.
It's so true. Yeah, it is so crazy. And yeah, and it happened like that. I'll tell a story. So I can't remember. I think we were in the process as coming to you and we were just talking more and more about the emotions and all the things. And, you've got the app and I'm telling my kids and they're rolling their eyes and and I'm just like, I just feel like, oh, well, what pain
What's
are you
going on?
having? And it's just like this, like central focus of what's going on. And I was on my way to my daughter's sports parent meeting. And the whole drive there, it's like 10-minute drive. I'm thinking, I'm talking out loud to my daughter. Oh, they're gonna have to sign up for this, and I'll have to pay for this tonight, and then they're gonna want me to do this, and I'm, just all the things that being involved is.
Sure.
And I was just feeling so burdened down by it, so overwhelmed by it. And we pull up, and I got out of the car. I couldn't walk. My knee was like so painful. I'm like, what happened? Like, it was fine in my house. Now I can barely even walk. I'm limping. And then so out loud, I just start, okay, what's the emotion? And my daughter at the time was, I think, a junior or senior. And she's like, oh yeah, here we go. And I'm just like, no, I'm looking this up and I'm looking at the emotion. I can't remember if I had texted you too. Like, what is this emotion? And I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think she said something to you. Don't you think it's all the things that you had said to me along the way? That's what she said.
She's like, you've been, yeah, she called me out on that actually. That's funny. And so I was like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling a little, I remember what the emotion is now.
Not being receptive.
Yeah, sum it up. And I was like, yeah, okay. Okay. By the time I made it to the building, no problem.
Not
I was like, this is ridiculous.
The body just wants to be heard.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. And then I acknowledged and I went in and I was fine. The meeting, I signed up for what I wanted to. I left what I didn't feel I needed to, and it was totally fine. But in my head, I created this scenario and now I have pain. It's just that quick.
Yeah, it's wild. Yep. I have 101 stories that I could share about the same exact thing, and we'll get into that. But it's just like this level of authenticity that the body wants you to be authentic. It's like, I can see through the bullshit. Let's be honest. And that's when you're going to develop pain out of nowhere, seemingly, is when the body's telling you you're not being authentic in some way.
Yeah. And not being present and not being, giving yourself that time in that space. That's what I'm really good at. Is just going and never giving my body time to talk to me.
Sure. But I will say, Jamie sets an example to me because she is one who she'll have something come up and she's like, I'm going to sit with this. And she is firm and she will sit with it and she will journal it. Whereas I'm like, ugh, I don't have time for that. And I'll get to it. And then the body's screaming at me and I'm like, okay, I give. It's like they've twisted my arm and I'm okay, I'll look at it now. But where you are so good to just sit and be like, okay, you want me to listen? I'll listen.
Yeah.
And I think that's so admirable.
Get to the bottom.
So what does that look like for you when you're journaling?
So usually I have my little questions. One recently too. I all of a sudden had all this acne. This was just recently as well. If you think I should listen and slow down. I had all this acne and it is shocking how much that affects self-esteem,
Yes.
and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't going away. Wasn't going away. It wasn't going away. So I sent you a message and said, "What are the emotions for acne?" And you sent me a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna journal it. I've gotta get rid of this. I cannot deal. Like I felt like I was walking around with my hair like this, like just trying to like not let people see how bad it had become. And so I sat down and journaling. And so what I did is I have my, my questions from you
Mm-hmm.
and I read through it all. And some of them I feel like hit.
Yeah.
Some of them,
This is the healing questions guide. If you don't have it, I will absolutely link it here. But go ahead.
and so there's some questions that just hit and you're like, yep, that sounds right. And others are like, not really.
Mm-hmm.
So all I did was I went through your list of questions. I think I have it. And it was like, okay, that one definitely could be it. And I write the question and I just start writing all my thoughts.
Mm.
And as I'm writing all my thoughts, I feel like it kind of pieces together until I get to like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. Well, as I'm journaling this, I'm thinking, this sounds really familiar. This feels really familiar. And I go back in my journal and it was almost to the day I had asked you the question, what is acne? What are the
Mm-hmm.
emotions? And I was journaling about it. And that was so just like, huh, obviously I'm not learning.
Uh,
Obviously there's still work to be done. But then it was like, oh, well, this is the time of the year, like your baseball. Like,
yeah.
oh, maybe this has something to do with the time of the year. Maybe there's just something I continued struggle with. There was a bunch of changes right there in my life and trying to remember what some of them, if I can remember, why am I trying to hide? Do I hide my true self? What messages have I internalized that make me feel like I am not enough?
Mm.
Am I looking for validation? Am I allowing fears to stop me? So things, that just you think you work through it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You sure try. And then every now and then it kind of comes back up and you're like, again?
Yeah.
Oh, I did this already. But you just have to sit with it again. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe for whatever reason there was another layer of, well, I probably didn't fully dive into this, or I didn't really give it the space and I didn't really sit. And I went back to the accept app after this one, I
Mhm.
think. Yeah, it was this one with my acne. And kind of say, what do I do? And I'm of course putting in all these diagnoses.
Oh.
Like, is it this? Is it that? Am I having this? And basically the accept app had it been able to been like, you are dumb. Probably was thinking that. And just kept saying, no, you need to let things go. I said, well, no, I've got to do this. And it was kind of comical to me, actually. I'm like, okay, need to slow down. And that has been really hard.
Mhm.
But when was that?
Couple months ago.
March.
Yeah.
Um, and I have. And it's hard still. But it's like being at peace with that.
Mhm.
All the things that's what I was trying to tell the app. Well, it's all good things I'm doing. I'm going to the gym. I'm taking care of my body. I am taking care of my home. I'm providing meals. I'm working my full-time job. I'm doing that's just all good things. And it's like, yeah, but you have to let something go.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, there's nothing to let go. And actually there is.
So what did you let go?
Um, my house had to give a little bit.
Mhm.
I was trying to do my full-time job and then come home and then put in a full day's worth of work and keeping my house clean and dishes done and meals. And it's like, actually, I can't.
Yeah.
And accepting that I can't do it all.
Yeah.
And just being okay with that.
Mhm.
And kind of a good conversation with my husband of, I can't do it all.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to.
Good for you.
And just being okay with the house a little messier than normal. Am I okay with it? No, actually. But I'm able to let it sit
Mhm.
and take time that I need.
Sure. And everybody else can see that you do a lot. And they can
Yes.
pick up a little slack.
Yes. And they can help out more,
Mhm.
clean up after themselves, and just being okay with that.
Mhm.
And even like the gym. I was like, no, I need to stay active. I need to get my steps. I have a desk job.
Mhm.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
And so either I compromise my sleep or compromise my house or, there's something that has to bend.
Mhm.
And then it's again coming to a place of, well, this is okay though.
Mm-hmm.
My family's still happy.
Yeah.
My house still runs. I still feel good. I'm still taking care of myself,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't feel drained. I don't feel like I'm giving absolutely everything and I have nothing left.
Sure. You have to get to that level of perfectionism, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's not even real.
Yeah.
Keeping up with everything, being perfect, being perceived as perfect, having your house perfect, your kids
Mhm.
perfect, your job, your health. You can't keep all of it at a high, high standard, and you're just going to have
Mm.
cortisol.
Yes. And I'm having a lot of that. And I think just the control too, like realizing I don't get to have all the control. I don't, and I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I shouldn't. Life needs to go about how it's meant to be.
Sure.
And I'm not going to be here and be like, well, actually, this, and micromanaging everyone and everything
Yeah.
and everyone's schedules in my life. I'm kind of like, figure it out now.
Mhm.
Like, just being able to let things go. I know it sounds silly and simple, but it's been months,
Yeah.
months of progress and months of work to say, it's okay.
Sure.
I've done enough for today. I am enough for today,
Mhm.
and I can go to sleep. And tomorrow's a new day, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I love that for you, Jane. We're all a work in progress, right? And it's like coming to a place of acceptance with things in our life that aren't perfect, that are never going to measure up to this high standard that we've set for ourselves. Our marriage, our kids, their sports, whatever they're doing is not measuring up or whatever. Nothing, we're never going to get to that place where
Mhm.
everything's perfect all the time.
Yeah.
And accepting that is huge. Um, the person who founded the Accept app is my friend Tom Stockstater, and we've all been using it and trialing it out while it's been in its beta phase, and it's now an app that's for purchase. But it was really fascinating because it doesn't mess around.
No.
It really gets straight to the point, and it really brings you down to these deep belief systems with yourself. And where did you learn that? Where, you know,
Yeah.
was that from your mom or your dad? Or
Mm.
and everything boils down to the childhood, these belief systems about ourselves and who we perceive ourselves to be and who we need to be to get love.
Mm.
And we have to come to this place of acceptance of this is my life. I'm good with it. I'm good with it being imperfect, and I can accept that, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of a running joke in our friend group of I'm not going to accept that.
Yes.
As far as, I'm not going to accept the diagnosis. I'm not going to accept the back pain. I'm not going to accept the knee pain. You know, it's just a running joke
Yeah.
that we have.
We're not accepting.
We're not accepting that. You can't make it to our friend thing. We're not
We're not
accepting
accepting
it.
that.
What do you think your pain was trying to protect you from?
Myself. Hurt, heartache. I think I am my biggest enemy.
Sure.
I am my biggest. People could probably say 1,000 great things about me and believe wholeheartedly. And I think it's so easy for me to doubt and question myself. And coming to a place of, I think, just being real and authentic. And it's not like I'm just brushing it off, but it's also just saying, I am okay where I'm at and I can joke about it and I acknowledge it. Like I'm doing the work, but I also can make jokes.
Yeah.
Um, and to just acknowledge we all are carrying so much. And I think I feel like all of my pains, all of my thing is just bringing me back to I have to love myself. And it's something I laugh at because I tell one of my daughters the same thing every day. I'm like, it's easier to preach it than do it.
Uh-huh.
And being enough. I think when we were working together and I had my timer going off and it was like, I am enough. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard to say I am enough with who I am right now. And presenting myself, this is me.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna love me?
Yeah.
And I so to answer your question in a very long roundabout way, probably not.
Yeah.
Is will I be loved?
Yeah. I think that's the number one belief system we all struggle with. And I think it's the root of everyone's pain is feeling unworthy of love. I think it's the kind of the human condition, if you will, of we're all seeking it in some way, right? We're seeking it with the way we take care of our bodies, the way we parent our children, the way we show up in relationships, the way we, automatically fall back into our roles when we get with our like original family, our siblings, right? We fall back into these roles of who we are to get love. And I see this with my own siblings and the way we perform, if you will, like the perfectionism runs really deep and it's all for the same purpose. We all do different things, but it's all for the same purpose, and that is the love. Yeah. That we all, we want. We want the connection, we want the love, we want the validation, and that's what the root of all pain is. What does healing mean to you now versus 4 years ago?
Yeah. Acknowledging it,
Yes.
first of all.
Yes, not running away from it.
Not shoving it down or
Mhm.
pushing it away. I still definitely struggle with that. I'm very much ingrained in me. Like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Um, so not running from it. So acknowledging, first of all, that if I'm having something, there's probably 100% something else going on. And not running from it and taking that time to just look at it and say, okay, well, what is this telling me and
Mhm.
why? And what am I maybe not seeing or listening to? And just acknowledging that basically everything can be fixed.
Mhm.
Basically everything can just you can feel better and lighter and freer. Um, and it's hard for a moment to face it, but then it's over and done. You feel that light and that freedom and that, okay, I feel a lot better now versus how long can I push
Stuff it
this
down.
down and not feel anything? And I don't want to cry and I don't want to have pain. And I don't want to, feel these emotions. So I'm just going to ignore them.
Mm.
And then you've gone years and you're still feeling that way.
Mhm.
And so I think, yeah, to heal and looking at healing is just to look at it and do it. Yeah. Acknowledge it and then you move on.
Sure. So when you say acknowledging it and moving forward, I mean, you talked a lot about journaling,
Mm-hmm.
looking at emotions and addressing the questions. What else does that look like for you? Is there anything else beyond that that you typically do when you're dealing with something? Or
Um,
even when we were working together? Was there anything that you used today?
so as I said, I am my worst enemy. the what I create up here can be very negative
Mm.
and dark. And so I can do the work, I can journal it, I can talk about it, I can open up about it, and that helps me so much.
Mhm.
Then it's staying out of my head
Yeah.
and not coming back and being like, "Oh, no." And then it's like I come out of this, I don't even know where I was down this train of thought, and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself?
Mhm.
Like, why can't I just see the good? Why can't I just move on? Why can't And so biggest thing to me is do the work and then just stay out of my head. And if anything comes up, it's the process. It's okay. Well, if I'm feeling this again, it's probably this. Or you know what? I need to acknowledge that I need to take a break again.
Mhm.
I need to just slow down.
Yeah.
And not get caught up in here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think as moms too, we have this checklist, if we're working, we have all this responsibility at home. It's like the checklist. Everything has to get done and everybody's
Mhm.
gotta be pulling their weight and then when it's not, it's game over in some way. And a lot of times it comes out as physical pain, emotional pain, anxiety, depression, things like that. And so I think just the simple form of acknowledgement. Okay,
Yeah.
here we are again.
Mhm.
It's rearing its ugly head because we're human. We fall back into our natural tendencies. And it's just acknowledging, oh, I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes all it takes is
Yeah.
just acknowledgement.
And then then you can stop it and it's like, "Okay, let's sing a song." Let's like just anything
Uh-huh.
to just stop. And there's times it's like multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, why do I do that to myself? Like it's just the negativity. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, why am I like that is not a situation that happened. This is not a conversation that was had. This is all stuff I'm just like making up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, why am I doing that? So and there's times I'm like, no, stop. Especially if there's like something did happen, say, and there was a conversation. And then it's like, okay, now the conversation's over. And I don't need to continue to rehash and, oh, I should have said this and and or like have these imaginary conversations before I ever confront the situation. And I'm like, that's not helping. Like to just shut it off and say, no, no, and just stay on the course of, no, not going down that hole again. Not gonna go there. I'm good. I can offer myself that love. Yeah, even though it didn't go perfectly, right? Yeah. Things happened and peace was made, and now I need to be at peace with it and not sit and stir it up again.
Sure, sure. Is there a version of you today that your younger self wouldn't even believe was possible?
Yep.
What does that look like?
As a child, I don't know that I spent a whole lot of time thinking about what my life would look like. There were definitely things in my life as a child that were hard and struggled with, and situations, and I think just feeling that helplessness and that fear. If a childhood version of me could see me today, I think it would be very proud. She would see the things I've overcome and say, we did it. Like, look at where we ended up. Not only has she helped herself, but she's helped other people. She's helped other people maybe in situations. She was it, like I dealt with this and I struggled with this, but she's been here to help. And I don't think there would ever be well, she's still not enough.
Yeah.
Or I wish this was different. I think I would be proud of who I am and what I've dealt with and overcome, and kept my faith, kept my light, kept my joy, kept love for others. Different things I've been through in life, I could become bitter.
Sure.
And I think that's my ultimate, like, I'm proud that I am not bitter. I still just love life and I love people. And there's good in the world.
Yeah. I love that, Jane. If someone listening today feels like they're in a dark chapter of their life right in this moment, what do you want them to hear?
A dark chapter. First of all, there's a God that loves you and he can lift you and he can help you. The dark chapters do end. And there's always, always something good in your life, even if it is dark right now, even if it is hard right now. And I know it is for so many people every day. But there is that light. And I think just acknowledging that you're not alone and whatever that needs to look like for you of who you could reach out to. I've been very, very blessed. Very blessed. And I know God's hand has been in that in my friendships. To know that when there is something hard going on, I have people. I have my people. They'll drop anything for me. And I think for those that are going through a dark thing, find a person. Find somebody to talk to. And even if you don't talk about what you're struggling with, just have a person and look for the good. Because there. Love that. Jamie, such an inspiring story. There's so much to your life that is so admirable that you've overcome. And I know a lot of people are going to appreciate things you have to share. Is there anything that you want to leave with our listeners today? Beyond keep looking, I don't know. Keep looking for that light, keep reaching for someone. Yeah. Just that, figure out who you are and hold tight to that person. Love that person. And I say that because I need I need to listen to that. But I'm just so grateful to where I am now versus a few years ago. And I still deal with crap. I still have acne and and different pains. And I think just though to have tools now and have resources to say, okay, what else is going on? And to, yeah, the number of conversations I've been able to have with you to be like, okay, that makes sense. Now that makes sense. And I don't know if it's in my puzzle brain, like that's how I cope with life. It's like as soon as that piece got put in, it's like, oh, okay, now that makes sense now. Like, okay, now we can move along. Sure. But yeah, to see where I am versus 5+ years ago. Sure. And how grateful I am for that.
Awesome. I love it. Yes, just because we have, symptoms that might come up here and there doesn't mean that we can't overcome them. We can quickly overcome them, as Jamie and I have shared. And I just want you to know that that's possible for you. So if you're struggling with something today and you're curious what that is, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me via social media or email. And just know that you're not alone. These things that we deal with that come up, emotional pain, physical pain, disease, they're here to be a messenger and not to leave us in the wake of pain forever. We can be pain free emotionally, physically. It's just having those right tools. So thank you for joining us today, Jamie.
Thank
We
you.
so appreciate you. And we will see you next time. Bye. Thank you for being here with me today. If something in this episode resonated with you, just know that awareness is where our power begins. If you feel called, share this episode with someone who may need it. And don't forget to subscribe so you can continue this journey with me. Until next time, keep listening inward. Your body, your intuition, and your truth already know the way.